Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am out at Dedication Point on the Snake River, and I've been talking about this for a while. I've got the DJI Mavic 3, the drone that we've all been talking about, and one of the things that I said I would do is my first flight with the drone, I would pick it up and just send it right over the side of the canyon. So that's what we're going to do today. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say about the Mavic 3 here. It is, you know, it's an iconic drone, and there have been a number of reviews about it already, but we're not going to get too carried away on this flight. We want to see how this Micro Four Thirds sensor does, although it's a bright day today, so that's not going to make a lot of difference, but we are going to definitely try out the zoom camera, the 7x optical zoom. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, I've got the drone fired up and the controller fired up and we're connected. So let's get the Fly app going here and see what it has to say. Yeah, I mean, it's ready to fly already. So what we're probably going to do first is take a look at that safety menu, as we always do. And I'm going to put the obstacle avoidance on bypass, display radar map, and yeah, so return to home altitude. I set that last night. I did. There was a firmware update that I did at home. It's saying the compass is normal. But I'm going to calibrate it. This thing hasn't been, the compass has never been calibrated on this guy since it's left China. It's not asking for a calibration, but we're going to do one anyway here. So just a couple of spins and calibration success. So let's take a look. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the, I'm just trying to decide if I leave the map up or, whoop, I touched the wrong part of the screen there. Or go to the little radar, as I call it. Looks like a radar screen. I know it's an attitude indicator, but it looks like a radar screen, so that's what I call it. Okay, let's get this baby started recording video, and we're going to shoot in 4K 60. I believe that is the top resolution that you can still use zoom in. I guess we're going to find out, and we're going to have everything on auto here to start. So let's start recording now. And let's let it do an auto takeoff here. So there it is, and I'm going to go up about I don't know. They say to go up about 7 meters to let us look at its landing site. So we're going to do that. And then we'll bring it back down here and take a quick look at it. Take a quick look at the drone. We'll bring it into the camera here a little bit, as much as we can, with obstacle avoidance on. And I can see on the screen that it's definitely looking at us, and it's got, yeah, I can see that on the screen. Let's see how close we can get it. Yeah, and it's wanting to bypass here, so I don't think we're going to get it any closer than that. But we can show how that rocket back and forth and show how that gimbal is keeping things steady. Let me drop the camera down here, and I'm going to get some pictures of the drone in flight with the GoPro here for a second. So there it is. There is the Mavic 3, and it is amazing how quiet this drone is. It is very quiet, and it is really awesome looking at that Micro Four Thirds camera. That is a huge gimbal on that guy. So there's a view from the bottom. Let me see if I can get over the top here. So there it is. That's the Mavic 3. Let's I think it's time to do our droney. Okie dokie, I'm going to angle the drone a little bit here to the side so we can get right over the canyon. And we are just in normal mode, so let's go reverse and up now, reverse and up. And there we go. Let's just go on over the canyon here. And it kind of went, I must have, I'll tell you, I had a little cross coupling there. I think I went a little sideways there. And you know, it looks like we're close to the side, but I'm looking at the drone. We are out there. Very responsive. Let me pick that gimbal up just a little bit so we get that rule of thirds. And let's just keep backing it up over the canyon. Let's see how fast we're going. I'm in full reverse and we are at 13 meters per second. And there is the side of the canyon. Let's go for that quick reveal shot here. Move around to the drone's right. And ladies and gentlemen, there is the Snake River Canyon right there. And you know, the winter sun is kind of low in the sky here. So we're kind of pointed kind of vaguely towards the sun. And again, we're still in full reverse. This thing is amazing. This thing flies like no other. So let's go ahead and let's move forward here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it in sport mode. Throw it in sport mode, and obstacle avoidance is unavailable, but it's not going to be a problem for us. And by the way, we're only 13 meters above our takeoff point, so full stick forward right now. And let's see how fast this guy goes. Yeah, we're over 20 meters per second. That's, you know, about 42, 43 miles an hour. About 21 meters per second now. And there's virtually no wind. And yeah, so what I kind of want to do is, there's method to my madness, and I see we're down to 76% battery. I used this battery to do the firmware updates last night, so we did not start on a full battery, and I didn't look and see what it was when we started out here, but you know, this is, man, I just love this. So what I thought I would do here is I would get off here and see if we can, how close we can get to the dam, right? To the Swan Falls Dam, see if we can zoom in and take a look at the dam. Boy, I'll tell you what, this drone is just so smooth. And like I said, I'm bombing along in sport mode here, kind of moving sideways, getting centered on the canyon. Okay, I'm going to pick that gimbal up a little bit and get centered on the dam. And you know what? I don't think, yeah, I cannot, shooting in progress, unable to switch. So evidently you have to stop recording, so we're going to do that now. And then we are going to click on the binoculars that puts us into that zoom mode. I can't remember what, explore mode, that's what they call it. Okay, so we're in explore mode. We're going to start recording again. And we should be able to zoom in here. I'm going to try the function button and the wheel. Yeah. So if I understand it correctly, we'll go 4 stops of zoom on that micro four thirds camera. There's 3.1, and let's get it right to 4. Yeah, and at 4, yeah, so it switched and that went right to, oops, sorry about that. I hit that function button again, and I've got the function button set to drop the gimbal, so I was messing around there. So this is, that's 7 times zoom, so that's optical zoom. looking at that dam. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hold that function button down again and see if we can, just how far we can zoom in here. So let's zoom in. And you saw that it went from, okay, that's 28 times zoom. Yeah, isn't that something? So that is the power plant. So what you're looking at there is the, let me see if I can pick the camera up just a little. So that is the old power plant that you're looking at right there. That was built in the early 1900s, and you can actually tour the inside of that thing, and you can actually walk into the turbines. And then right next to it, I'm going to move a little bit further left. You are going to see the new part of the power plant. So that little bitty thing right there is the new power plant, and it, you know, provides exponentially more power than what the old power plant did. But anyway, enough of that. Let's see if we can. Well, I'm going to try the screen and see if I can. How that works. Yeah. So I just hit on the screen, and it took me right back out to 1 by. So. Is there a scroll wheel, or how, what if I, yeah, so when you hit that button, it just takes you in stops. So there's 2 by, well, it went right to 4 by there. So 4 by, we should still be, this is still on that micro 4/3 camera. And if I hit it again, it should take us to 7 times zoom, which is then that fixed optical zoom camera, the upper camera. And there it is. Yeah, so that's 7 by zoom right there. And then anything we do beyond that is going to be digital zoom. In other words, cropping in on that sensor. But you saw when we had it down to 28 there, it is phenomenal. So let's go ahead and see if we can. Yeah, so then it gives me that. Here's the scroll wheel. Okay, so as soon as I got on that zoom camera, it gave me the scroll wheel. So let's go back out to 1. So I went clear back out to 1. And yeah, so let's turn around. So there's something you should know there. In order to enable that Explore mode, you cannot be recording while you're doing that. So you're going to want to start recording first. I know I thought you could do it in 4K 60. You cannot. It dropped it back to 4K 30. So it is 4K 30 is the max you can do for zoom. So that's probably why it made me stop recording there, and it auto switched it to 4K 30. So let's just turn around. We're at 59% battery. Man, that zoom is phenomenal. I'm telling you, you can see how handy that guy is going to be, huh? Let's see if we can move in on the canyon here. And we're in sport mode. Let's put it back into normal mode. So we've got the drone back into normal mode, and let's see what that did to obstacle avoidance. So I'm clicking on the safety menu. So yeah, that did turn bypass back on. I wondered about that. So we've got bypass back on once we switched back into normal mode, which is important here because, as you can see, we're heading right towards the canyon face here, and you know. So let's just see what this guy will do. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy here, but let's see if we can, if it will actually go over the top of the canyon face here. Yeah, I got to tell you, boys, this is a little nerve-wracking. And yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anything on the screen yet. Okay, I don't know how close I am to that canyon face, but I got to be honest with you guys, I am not seeing anything on the screen, and I don't feel like getting too much closer. Yeah, that's close enough. So I don't know here if I have obstacle avoidance going or not. Let's back it off, go back into that safety menu. It says bypass, it says it's on. Let's turn it off and then turn it back on. And so it is on. And you know, here's the thing, when you're moving forward, it may look a lot closer than it is, and this probably isn't the best place to be testing it out over the side of the canyon here, but You know, I just want to see how it works. So we can move a little bit closer. And you know, this thing's supposed to look out 200 meters ahead, so I would have thought that it would be, yeah, so now we're getting, look at that, we're getting that radar. And it's talking, so it's trying to move ahead. Yeah, so it's definitely not going to allow me to move ahead. So I was hoping bypass it would go up and over. So let's I'm going to back off just a little, and then let's gain some altitude and see what we can see here. Yeah, so let's try this, and let's see if this will then, if it's close enough here, will it move over the top of the canyon? And you know, the drone is moving around. Look at that. Look at it. It's moving up and over. Look at that. Look at that. Full stick forward. Wow. Is that cool or what, guys? Man, that is so awesome. Let's see what we got right here. Is this the... I was thinking maybe... my watch went off. You guys are going to love this. My watch went off and it told me that I had a high heart rate. Now, why would I have a high heart rate? You know, running a $3,000 drone against the side of the canyon, it might have something to do with it. That's funny. Like I said, my Apple Watch just went off and said, high heart rate. I love it. Okay, let's turn around here. I'm not familiar with this turnaround right here. I think this goes back to the main road, so you could actually drive out to this spot. Let's, I think we ought to explore here. What do you think? Let's see where this guy goes, and I'm sure this will go right out to the road out there, I believe. I'm sure the main road. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's the main, that's the Swan Falls Road. And that's the road that I come in on when I'm flying. And it's so cool. Look at this thing just jetting right along, man. This is so awesome. Yeah, shoot, I could probably get out there in the Tahoe no problem, but I like where we're at right here. Yeah, let's just follow this thing out a ways and see where it takes us. Look for jackrabbits, coyotes. Often there'll be, I've seen antelope out here as well, so watch for that stuff. And here it is. Oh, and I see some power lines, so we are going to be mindful of that. And let's turn back this way. And you'll see the parking structure way down there for Dedication Point, where I parked my vehicle. But anyway, let's go back over the canyon. That's what we really want to do, right? So I'm full stick forward in normal mode. Let's go ahead and throw it in sport mode here. Sport mode, obstacle avoidance is unavailable, so we need to keep that in mind. And by the way, I'm using my iPhone 10, and man, it is perfectly clear right now. I've got the sun on the screen, and it's doing just fine. Excuse me, I said iPhone 10, my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I don't know why I said iPhone 10. Yeah, and I think, yeah, this is the little compass deal that we've seen before, so I believe, maybe. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We'll drop the camera down a little bit. And I love you, Mom. And then let's head back over the side of the canyon. And let's go the other direction. And boy, that drone, it's getting close to us here. And you know, I'm watching it in the sky. It is so cool to watch that thing fly through the sky here. Man, oh man. And it's moving, man. It's hauling the mail. It's right in front of me right now, tilted forward, just doing its job. So I have the sun right on my screen right now on my iPhone, and I can see perfectly fine. So obviously it's a cooler day today, but I do have the cover on the phone, so you know, Hopefully that's a sign of things to come with this iPhone 13 Pro Max. God, remembering all these names, the way these nomenclature, the way they name these devices is a job in and of itself. So, you know, let's keep going down the canyon, but let's also kind of move sideways here and kind of look sideways down at the canyon here. Sometimes it can be more interesting looking at the canyon wall. Move it a little bit closer to the side of the canyon. Drop that camera down just a little and let's move sideways. See if we can see any birds, you know. Often we'll see raptors taking off from the side of the wall. Believe it or not, there's a ton of ravens here. So most of those caws and stuff you hear in the background are ravens. And let's keep heading down the river here. And one of the things, that's me picking up the camera again as well. I've shown this on videos before, but this is kind of the end of the part that you can drive on. In other words, I could be down there in the canyon, I could drive to this end spot here. And you know, there again, we're flying along at about 43 miles an hour, something like that. About 21 meters per second approximately. So that's, I don't know, that's probably 44, 45 miles an hour. The drone moves right along. And remember, you do not have obstacle avoidance while you're in this mode. Let's go over the top of, this is another area that I fly from occasionally. It's wanting to go into return to home. So this is great. We're going to give this a shot. I'm holding the stick forward. We're going to let it go into return to home. And it's doing it automatically. Let's see what it does here. And so it's coming right back to us. We got 26% battery. Says about 8 minutes of flight or so. So let's so it's gonna, we got no worries. It's gonna get home just fine. 25% battery now, but it decided it needed to come back, and it's coming back at a little more leisurely pace. What I want to do is I want to test, can we yaw? No, we cannot yaw while in return to home mode. Can we gain and reduce altitude? So up on this on the stick, no. So when you're in return to home mode, you literally have no control at all. The sticks you can't do anything with the sticks. So you can't change your altitude, and you cannot yaw around. And I suspect that probably has to do with obstacle avoidance, right? That's one of the things that they built into this drone. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this guy out of return to home, and we're going to fly it back in sport mode here. Let's see if it'll, so it's giving us that sport mode speed again. Let me pick up the camera and we'll get it home here real quick. And as we get closer, I'm going to throw it back into RTH because I want to see if it'll do a precision landing. And I know everybody says, return to home is just for emergencies or whatever. I use it all the time, so I don't know. Everybody has their own way of doing things, but this is just my first shot out with this drone. I can tell you, I like it so far. This thing just handles like a dream, and it's fast, and what is there not to like? So we're about 1 kilometer out now, and we'll be coming back over the side of the canyon here soon. It's pointed right at us. In fact, I'm going to adjust our vector just a little bit. And it does have that smart return to home. And that's the other thing that I guess I should touch on is, it wants to come back. Okay, I'm going to hit return to home. And let's let this guy find its own way home here. And as you can see, we're oh, I don't know, about 450 meters from home, so it's almost here. And look, I see as it gets closer, the orange part, we kind of were in the red part of the battery. Now the orange part is growing a little bit, so. And I'm going to drop that gimbal down as we get closer. And we will drop it perpendicular, and let's just see. There you can see me standing there. We're at 12% battery. And I see the drone approaching us cautiously. It's coming on in. Yeah, that thing is cool. It's amazing how quiet this, you know, it's a different kind of prop noise. Boy, it's coming down fast. It's not messing around. I stopped, returned to home because it was missing the pad completely. Yeah, it really wants to land. It's squawking at me here. Critically low battery, it said. So we landed with 9% battery, but it really started to beep there for a second. So I don't know, 9%. And I didn't pay attention to how many minutes we were flying there. I know I've got 17 minutes of video, plus we were videoing before that. So we were in the air, I don't know, well over 20 minutes. I'm going to say that much. And what I'll also say is, like I said, it was not a full battery. I'll have to go back and look at the screen recording and see what we started at with battery. I think it was less than 90%. So anyway, let me get it all shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Okay, there she is now, and you can see that gimbal in action. Let's, I'm going to hit the button, the shutdown button now, and let's see if it'll lock that gimbal. And I don't know if you could see that on camera, but I could see it as I'm looking at it. It locked that gimbal in place as it was shutting down. That is a cool feature. Well, heck, let's go ahead and fold it up. I might as well show you how that cover works, or you know, a lot of people call it a lot of things, and I've called it some of those things myself. But it's let me tell you, once you use that new cover, you won't want to go back to a little plastic gimbal cover ever. This thing is so simple. So you just put it over the top of the camera, and as you can see, the motors fit in the front part of that. And then these motors, when you get it strapped down, or these props, they'll get strapped into the top of it there, and you just clip it there. And then I look and I make sure that these are clipped in. And then let's look on this side. I guess I've got, yeah, those are fine. They were twisted up a little bit, but you can see where the bottom props just fit into this little you know, cup right here. And it's so cool because there's no props floating around. There's nothing that's going to get in the way of everything. The gimbal is protected. You know, that's just a little bit of genius on DJI's part. So yeah, does it look like Bane from Batman, I suppose, but it works good. Boy howdy, did I have fun with this guy. Yeah, the first flight of the Mavic 3. The Mavic 3, what a awesome piece of tech this is. And I know there is a ton of features that DJI has not unlocked on this yet, and I gotta admit, I'm a little bit giddy. DJI stuff just works so great, and this flight was just so easy and so smooth. First time I've ever taken it up, no issues whatsoever, just took it out there and flew it. Now, I want to be perfectly straight here, because I gave Hubsan a hard time when they came out with the Xeno Mini Pro, and there were a ton of features that they didn't have available when they shipped the drone. You know what? It's the same thing with DJI's flagship, the Mavic 3. There's a bunch of features that we're not even going to get until January of next year. Basically, think of all the intelligent flight modes, which are modes that I use a lot, and then a ton of the camera features. So yeah, now those are things that you know, maybe not everybody uses, but I do use, and I am a little disappointed that they're, for the money that you pay for this drone, they're not available yet. Oh, one of the big ones I didn't mention was tracking. Tracking is a big deal to a lot of people, but we did show over there that the APAS works, and my heart rate kind of raced there as I was pushing this drone towards the side of the canyon. But you know, we did it. We showed that it works, so that's a good thing. But that aside, they'll get it straightened out, and I'll be happy to. It'll be fun to test all that stuff out when it is made available. Other than that, man, I got nothing but good to say about this guy. And of course, I haven't seen the footage yet, but I have no reason to believe that it's not going to be just awesome. I was really anxious to try out that the zoom. And just like others, like I've watched Billy Kyle's review, and one of the things that he was talking about is how it jumps from that 4 to 7 immediately, and that's a big jump. It jumps from that 4/3 camera to the zoom camera on top, and that zoom camera is just fixed. It's just fixed at 7 by zoom, and so then when it's zooming in beyond that, it is clearly, it's just cropping. So it's cropping in on the sensor. Although it is amazing the details you can see. As we went in on the dam there, gosh, from you saw how far back we were at 1 by, and then as we zoomed in, wow, it was just phenomenal. So I can see where it'd be handy, particularly industrial uses, inspections and things like that, or search and rescue. You know, if you're doing search and rescue, you're just trying to see what's down there. You may not be so worried about having the best quality video ever, but you want to see what's going on. So I can see how that would be handy in those events. But that the 7 by zoom, even by itself, was really cool. And places like the canyon here, I'm going to use it a lot. Now, it'll be fun. You know, I didn't use it on any of the cliff faces of the canyon, but I can see how in the future I'll be doing some of that. You know, seeing where some of the birds are flying out of and stuff. You got the drone way far away. It's not bugging anything, but you can zoom in and see what's going on. Let's see what else. Oh, also on that zoom, I started out flying in 4K 60. I thought you could zoom in 4K 60. You cannot. It has to be in 4K 30. And as soon as we stopped recording and enabled that the zoom feature, and I always forget the name of it, but the zoom feature, it switched it to 4K 30, which is fine. 30 frames per second is what I shoot in most of the time anyway. I was just shooting in 4K 60. Why? Just because I could. So we got, you know, if you think about the range of where we flew this drone today too, we talk about the battery power. We went from one end of the canyon to the other and covered a lot of territory. It's a fast drone, so you can cover that territory quick. So I was impressed with that. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Oh, by the way, I guess I should mention, when I was talking about the changes, DC Rainmaker did a really good video where he listed all of the features that are not enabled yet on this drone. So look at his video if you want to see that. And he made a whole comprehensive list. I think it was like 27 features or something that will be available on a firmware update they're saying in January. But anyway, enough. First flight of the DJI Mavic 3. I'm just ecstatic. Can you tell? So I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The DJI Mavic 3, man, it's just awesome. All right, see you guys later.